What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is time again to start going through our collection and deciding what games are trash and what games are treasure, because we have too many games and it's just, you have to get rid of them. It just clutters, takes up space. You end up like...
You don't have to get rid of them.
You have to get rid of them, yeah, because otherwise you end up in like that episode of Hoarders and then all of a sudden they're finding like dead animals in your thing. You know? Like,
I just don't want to buy another bookshelf.
Yes, I don't want to assemble any more IKEA furniture. Therefore, we must destroy our games. I mean, sell them. All right, so first up, we're going to start with A Fellowship of the Ring, a trick-taking game. Lord of the Rings, the trick-taking game, is a cooperative card game where players work together to win or lose specific tricks, strategically managing their hands to navigate challenges inspired by Frodo's perilous journey to Mount Doom. First, I want to say I hate trick-taking games.
But I love the holographic box.
The box is lovely.
Look at it. There's the light.
It shimmers. It shimmers. Yeah, but it's good. It's a good game. I hate trick-taking games. I hate campaign games, but this is a good game. It's a good game. It's not a great game. Like, it's not one I would like rush out and buy, but it is a quality filler game. Like, we had some friends over. I think they enjoyed it.
I think you said the keywords, which is a filler game.
It is a filler game.
Like, there are some games that you can get together with friends just to play the game.
Yeah.
This is not quite it.
No, you're not inviting friends over.
But we have a lot of friends that love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
including
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
And so for trick-taking games, a lot of them are pretty similar, and the theme really is the only unique defining component.
There are some mechanics in here that provide a bit of uniqueness, like the way the ring bearer works and when you're allowed to play a ring card. And slight spoiler, I guess, but it happens in like the very second game that you play. The Black Riders that show up, and you have a sort of threat dial almost that you have to take care of. It is very much like The Crew, just with some added Lord of the Rings spice.
I would say, to me, what's unique is the character cards that you have and the trading the cards. So you like to trade cards to give cards to people.
That's true.
That you're friends with or alliance with, that kind of thing. Thought that was the unique part.
It's a good way to encourage interaction. So, should we treasure this game or should we trash it? 3, 2, 1.
Treasure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, because even with small games, I don't know if anybody else feels about this, but it's always like, I find like, even if I don't like small games, they just end up sitting on my shelf because I don't want to go through the process of selling them on Facebook for like $15, So I just keep them anyway.
Maybe you could give to any of our friends who love.
Yeah, that's true. I could just gift it.
And I'll be honest, too, a lot of these small games, whenever we travel, I'm a small suitcase person. We end up having to bring a big suitcase because half the suitcase is filled with board games.
Yeah, that we never end up playing. But you never know. It's like being a Boy Scout. You gotta be prepared.
And so these smaller box games, like they're a lot easier to travel with. Yeah. So yeah.
And we didn't say this, but it has actually it's a campaign system that I actually enjoy because I don't have to remember anything because I already know Lord of the Rings. Whereas other campaign systems, trying to remember what NPCs' names are, what villages we're in, I don't care. So this is a digestible one. All right, so we'll keep this. And next up we have Nova Era. Nova Era is a card tableau builder that plays 2 to 4 players in roughly an hour. Players guide their civilization from simple beginnings to vast scientific empires, doing their best to navigate the never-ending downpour of terrible crap the game throws at you. Yes, I did a review of this one without you.
I'm so insulted. I only find out he does these videos without me when they get posted.
But my reasoning was like, you just didn't like the game. And you just like,
Spoiler alert!
Well, yeah, but like, you didn't like it and you just didn't want to play it anymore. So the only time I could play it more for review purposes with friends. And then at that point, I was like, well, you don't get to review the game anymore. Because you have to play multiple times.
Right.
You can't just be these content creators. No, because you can't be one of those content creators that like, they review a game once or twice and they're just like, no, we're going to tell you to go buy this piece of shit now. No, we can't do that. We have to be thorough. But I do think that this is a pretty good game. I think I gave it like a 6 or 7. I think I gave it a 7.
That's a good game.
Yeah, 7 is good. 7 is good. It's not great, but it's good. It's better than average. Here's the thing. If you want to play this game, you have to go with the expectation and the understanding that there's no strategy. There's all tactics. Strategy and tactics are 2 different things, right? Like, you're not going into this game thinking, like, I'm going to try this strategy. There's no forward planning. It's all just adapt. Because you are constantly getting bombarded by crap, whether that's crap that the game throws at you or crap that your opponent throws at you. It is mean. It's also a little bit mean, but it's enjoyable. I like that. I like that, like, constant adapting to, like, just shit falling on my head. I like it. It's fun.
In games, not in real life.
No, outside in the real world, no shit on my head, please.
But if you watch that video sometime, you understand why I don't like this game. Him just explaining that no strategy, constantly mean.
But it is a good game. But, okay, so what, should we keep this game 3, 2, 1, trash?
Oh,
Yeah,
I am surprised by that response.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's my reasoning. I only like it at 2 players. And the front, I like it. I think, like I said, I think it's a 7. My friends don't like it. And Kim doesn't like it. So who the hell am I playing with? That's the issue. You know, like I have games in my collection that only I like. And I keep just lying to myself, but like, Mike, you don't worry, you're gonna make new friends, and that's a lie. I don't make new friends. The older I get, the less friends I have.
I still make new friends. I start friends, and a lot of people that we meet, like we had dinner with some of my friends today, and they love board games.
That's
they don't
true.
live super close to us. That's none of the problem too, because like it's a lot of effort to meet people, or like to hang out when you live far apart. So we do make new friends that love board games, so you could keep them for that purpose, but also you really want to keep stuff that you like you don't know you will actually play again. It's like maybe one day somebody would want to play this.
Yeah, so it sucks. I mean, I stick by my rating of probably 7, but I just if I can't play it, then there's no sense just having it on my shelf. So I guess we'll be getting rid of this.
Bye.
And next up we have one of the many duel games, Azul Duel. This, of course, replaces, for some people, the original Azul, even though Azul played, like, perfectly well, in fact, preferable at 2 players. Azul Duel is a 2-player tile placement strategy game where players draft and stack tiles to create intricate mosaics, introducing new pattern plates for a unique layout for each game. I think it improves upon Azul, but I've never actually been the biggest fan of it. We own it, but it's just with, like, one of those games that you kind of just feel like you had to own.
It's a classic game, but a lot of classic games are like that you want to keep in collection, but not something you pull out on a regular basis. And you don't crave.
I do think this one's better. I like that it adds a bit more depth to the choices because you can draft the tiles that your little circle discs go on top of. They essentially act as like a blueprint. So there's just an added amount of engagement and even interaction with players, because now instead of just, you know how when you play Azul, it can be like deceptively mean because you can look over at the other player's board and you can see what they don't want, and you just like purposely drafting things to make sure that they end up with like the stack of discs that they just have to put in their discard pile. You'd be happy to know that this game still preserves that wonderful feeling of both receiving it and giving it.
And again, if you know me, I don't like that.
But it's fun.
That's why you gotta be mean, you know?
But yeah, like the difference is that it does provide through those tiles is an enjoyable one. I like it, and I like this more than I like Azul.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll take.
Yeah, well, not really, because like I don't like Azul that much. I would probably give Azul like a 5.5 maybe, whereas this one I'd give like maybe a 7. I'd give Azul Duel a 7. I enjoy it.
I actually have a similar take that I do like this more than Azul, but not by that much. And I don't like it as much as you do, I don't think.
No.
It's a decent game, but I don't have the most scientific methodology in how I like games. Sometimes you can enjoy playing the game, and this was fine. But I know I really like the game if I crave it. You know, you keep thinking about it after, you're like, oh, I really want to play this game. I'm itching.
Yeah.
And I don't have that feeling with this game. And so I enjoyed playing it in that moment. But there's nothing about it that I took away that was like, I can't wait to play it again. Or days go by and I never think about it again. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's not one of those games that I would be psyched to play. Like if a friend was coming over, I wouldn't be like, yo, I want to run upstairs and get Azul Duel. You're just gonna blow your mind, man. I'm so excited to show you this one.
We have some games like that. We definitely have games like that. And some games today that we want to talk about that.
Azul Duel would be more subdued. But I like it, so let's 3, 2, 1, keep. Or treasure.
I can't even call it.
It is good. It's good.
It's like sufficeable.
Yeah, well, we don't have that. It's trash. It's a binary. There's no gradient here. So we're keeping it. Yeah. And next up is Moonstone, which is a miniature game. So don't click away, board gamers. We've tricked you. You thought this was an exclusively board game video, but it was not. I snuck in miniature gaming. So let's just explain what these are. So this is for a miniature game. This is the starter set that you would buy if you had no idea what it is you wanted. And then these are just like booster packs, almost like like Badge of the Gathering, where you don't have to buy them, but if you want a more variety in your army, you would get them. But all you really need is the starter set. That's enough for 2 players to play. All right.
It kind
Are we
of
sales
at the
pitching?
bottom, so like they can't see the whole box. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
need them
true.
to see the whole box.
Yeah, I love Moonstone. I love it so much. I think it is easily the best introductory miniature game that a board gamer could ever want. Because a lot of the systems that are within it are things board gamers are going to recognize. And then I think go far beyond the typical like dice chucker that you see a la, let's say, for example, like any Games Workshop property. I love the way the melee works in this game, and I love the magic system in this game. It's all card based. It employs like really interesting bluffing where you can say you have a certain card, but your opponent has the same deck of cards that you have. So he knows that like you might be lying or you might not be lying, and then he can mess with you up if you are. And the duels themselves, it's like trying to outwit your opponent and try to guess as to what card they're going to play when you're going to play, because some melee cards do more damage against certain other melee cards. It's just really well done. In the game itself, it plays in like maybe 90 minutes, and you don't need a lot of terrain. So a lot of people, they get this thing where they're like, well, I don't want to buy a miniature game because I don't want to clog. We live in a small apartment or something. We don't have space for a bunch of like bullshit, like pieces of plastic that we put everywhere.
Yeah, he has entire like bookshelves and like closets full of miniature game stuff.
And you don't have to do that.
You can tell, if you can't tell already, he loves this game and he loves miniature games.
It's so
I can't really compare it to other miniature games, because Moonstone's basically the only miniature game I've ever played. So different opinion. And I will say that I don't know, in the beginning of us talking about miniature games, I used to watch him play with a friend. It's just too complicated, like way too much. It's like, he does take out a huge terrain and stuff, so it looked like so much stuff and overwhelming. But this was super approachable. We've tried Moonstone. I've tried Moonstone prior to us playing with this set, but I love that it's like small box. Everything you need is right here. It doesn't feel like, oh, too many things, too many pieces, too many rules. And I'm not a fan. I might get hate for this. I'm not a fan of reading a lot of things. So I hate when there's like big books on the whole story. It's too much for me. This is so simple, so easy to start.
Easy.
Not crazy, and it's fun.
Yeah, we're hoping to do a playthrough sometime soon. When we'll get around to it, I don't know. It's tough because it's going to be a lot of work, but I think it'll be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So 3, 2, 1, keep our treasure. That's both the same thing. Treasure, trash. 3, 2, 1, treasure.
Treasure. Yeah, there was no choice there. It's keep or treasure.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the playthrough.
I think it'd be cool.
It'd be different for us to do it.
Yeah, we bought like a little jig to put like a camera overhead, and then we have we got some other cameras, so we're gonna be able to do like multi-angle and stuff. I think it's gonna be really cool.
I don't want them to see me stress about decisions here, though.
Well, I would edit those parts out. Otherwise, the playthrough would be a full 90 minutes. We can truncate and shrink it down. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. This is very cool. So if you've ever thought about miniature gaming, check this one out. The theme is really cool. It's sort of like a Jim Henson movie, like Labyrinth or what's the other ones? The darker ones. The Dark Crystal.
As if I know who that is or what those movies
Jim
are.
Henson. Sesame Street.
Is it Sesame Street? What?
No. Oh my God.
Things are going well.
She's from Singapore. She does not consume a lot of cultural media.
Excuse me?
Well, you don't. How do you not know Sesame Street?
I know Sesame
Can you
Street.
name a Sesame Street character?
Cookie Monster. Okay. Big Bird.
All right. That's it. And next up is Skyrise. Skyrise is a strategic auction and area control board game where players bid for prime locations to construct breathtaking buildings, competing to shape the stunning city skyline while fulfilling secret objectives. Skyrise is awesome. I love it.
I did not. This game was, so far, it's late March now. It has been my biggest disappointment of 2025.
So absurd. Listen, okay. I don't like bidding games. I
have learned I don't like bidding games.
Even I can appreciate, I own Modern Art for the longest time, which is like the definitive bidding game. I appreciated it, but I didn't enjoy it. And I have games in my collection that have bidding, like Keyflower and Furnace. Great games, they have bidding. But the bidding is sort of secondary to the things that I really enjoy. This is a pure bidding game. It's a pure bidding game. But, and this is the reason I like it, there are so many different things that you can bid on. that it adds this sort of like really interesting strategic depth to it. You know what I mean? Because like when you bid in Skyrise, you don't bid on the spot in which the player places their bid or their building. You bid in the surrounding areas. So already the choices have branched off from other bidding games where it's just like, hey, I got this piece of art. You want to bid on this? And the stuff, when you win that bid, you get the stuff underneath it, whether that's the tile that it was placed on, which might fit one of your public objectives or your private objective, or you get the little token, which might be something interesting, like a hidden token that has a hidden point value. I just like that. It gives me more to think about beyond just like, do I bid or do I not bid? Do you get, you know? I
completely agree with how it's more strategic than other bidding systems where you're not bidding in the same spot. Like you place a bid by going to a neighboring area. But I actually feel the opposite way about that. I felt like then it became just more about bidding. And the only thing you're looking at is public or private objective. And that was where this game kind of fell short for me. It felt a bit lackluster, like there was nothing else I'm working towards. There are some times where you said that, you don't have to tall enough buildings, so you don't want to be in that area, so you don't bid. And you're just sitting there waiting for them to finish bidding. And those type of moments got so boring, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing in this game. I really don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, those instances will occur within your games where you are sort of holding out for certain areas, and so you just sort of get sidelined, fly on the wall, and you're just like, pass, I pass. Once
you pass the first time, you just pass the rest of the time too.
Yeah, but exactly.
Yeah, there are just so many moments in this game where when you're actually doing something, sure, you can think about that. But when you're not involved in it, there's nothing else to do. So it just got too many boring moments for me. So this game was not a winner.
Well, I really like it. Like I'm torn between a 7 or 8 if I were to review this game. So, okay.
I really wanted to love this game. When we first saw this game in person, I was like, oh, this looks so cool. I really wanted to play it. And then now I'm just...
All right, so 3, 2, 1, treasure. Well, we're going to treasure it because it has to be unanimous. And I want to keep it. I want a bidding game in the collection. And I think this is the bidding game. This is a fun one.
Yeah, keep it. Our friends might want to play with you.
Yeah. You will also play. I will force you.
Fantastic.
And next up is Wondrous Creatures, the Everdale killer, as content creators told me over and over again.
People refer it to as that.
Wondrous Creatures is a strategy card game where players collect and play magical creatures with unique abilities, aiming to build powerful synergies and outmaneuver their opponents to score the most points possible. I liked it. I didn't think it was great, but I do like it. I think, you really have to be into that opening phase, right? Because you have 2 parts of every turn. You have the part where you place your worker out, you ride a little dinosaur or whatever, and you can choose, where that area is that you want to go and get the resources or get the cards that are associated with those resources. It's an interesting spatial puzzle that did not excite me very much. I didn't really like it. But the thing I really did like, of course, was the card play. I think the card play was really well done. I think some of the cards have a lot of powers that are imaginative and interesting and engaging. There was, to me, a bit of a disconnect between placing my workers and, doing something with those cards that, in my opinion, I didn't experience when I play Everdale. Like it generally does kind of feel like I'm setting up my dudes to like collect, resources from the village to bring it back so I could build my own little area. And I didn't get that here. But it is a good game.
I completely disagree with anyone that compares this to Everdale. I understand why there are similarities and why that comparison can occur, but
they're both tableau builders.
Yes, and you have workers that you place on this shared board, that space map, but the feeling of accomplishments of this game is completely different. The entire experience of playing the game is completely different. I can definitely justify owning both games, but if you're looking at this game and solely this game, not comparing to anything else, it's a really good game, but it's missing something. I really enjoyed a lot of the play of this game, but I felt the end-game objectives especially were frustrating. Once we played it a couple times, right, in case you never played it, the end-game objectives look like, collect 5 of this specific suit of these cards.
Yeah, they're all like that.
Yeah, they're all like that. So every time you play, it's like, it feels very limited because you're just looking for a specific combination.
It feels super mechanical. It's like the game has this really fun, vibrant theme, but it's sort of obscuring it behind those mechanics. It's almost like it's forcing you to look at it just as its suit rather than the beautiful art that's on the card. It's saying to you, you need to see that this is this suit because you need this suit. And it's just boring. It's boring when it does that. And there's no variety between plays. It's like, okay, now I'm collecting 5 of this thing. Okay, now I'm collecting 4 of this thing. And there's no variability. Like, you could have public objective cards that are a hell of a lot more interesting, but maybe that's solved in other expansions. Let us know in the comments if that's true. We've only played the base game.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I guess we do it 3, 2, 1, trash. Oh,
Treasure. I'm hoping expansions will help add to this game. I feel like the base game itself, if you look at the foundations of the game, is pretty good. We also have a full review video about this game.
Yeah, I haven't published it yet. I think I gave it like I won't say, I guess.
Yeah, we won't say it yet. Yeah, go watch that video when it comes out. I'm really hoping for more. I feel like the game has some really good aspects and some really good mechanisms. Really interesting when you put the player down, you put your piece down, you collect resources and that. Some really interesting parts. It's just like missing something, and I'm hoping expansions will help fill that gap for me.
And next up is everybody's favorite, the contemporary classic, Wingspan. I think in this box I probably have one of the expansions, but I don't remember which one. Europe or something? I don't know. Wingspan is a competitive engine-building board game where players attract and nurture birds in their wildlife preserve, strategically managing food, eggs, and habitats to maximize points. So,
I really think at some point let us know. I want to do a video that is specifically like a hot take, a controversial opinion about some games. Games particular that a lot of people love that I do not like.
Yeah, I don't feel as strongly.
Example number 1.
I feel as strongly about Wingspan as you do. I think we don't have to get into how Wingspan works. You know how Wingspan works.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Wingspan. I think it's a good game. Like if I were to give it a numerical rating these days of how I feel about it, it'd be like a 6, maybe a low 7. I don't love it. It is not one that has ever really excited me to play, but I do find it resonates with people pretty well, and maybe it is just because the theme is so wonderfully unique.
The theme is fantastic. That is a 10 out of 10 the theme. The information about the little birds and the cards, I love that. There are many components of this game I love. I love the little, what do you call it? Tree feeder, bird feeder thing when you roll dice. So cute.
There's a lot of
eggs, so cute.
There's a lot of nice thematic touches into how the cards function. Not always, but sometimes they hit really well. Like when your hawk card or something, it consumes like the smaller bird cards. You're like, oh, that's neat. The only trouble I have with this game, and you really only get this through repeated plays. Let me know in the comment section if I'm way off base. Like if you're a professional Wingspan player and you're like, that's not a good strategy, is I find that there's becomes a certain point in the game where you're just collecting eggs. Where I'll have these cool cards in my hand I want to play, this end game, where I'm looking at them and I'm like, I want to play this, but I know that if I just collect eggs, I'll get more points than playing this card.
Yes.
And that's boring. Yeah. That sucks. Like, that's not fun. It's not fun.
I love games that allow you to go for different strategies when you play it again and again. Right? This game feels like I'm trying to aim for the same thing. If I have a winning strategy, I'm doing the same thing again and again and again. And that to me is not fun. Yeah. So it feels like the theme is well thought out. I like the gameplay for the theme, but it's a little bit too limiting and restricting, but it kind of feels like how I play tic-tac-toe. Once you know exactly like when to place certain pieces to get that perfect straight line, you use that same strategy again and again, and Wingspan feels like that. It's too repetitive.
All right. So 3, 2, 1, treasure. The reason I say treasure, even though I'm not enthused about this game anymore, is that I think this game, like Catan, like Carcassonne,
classic.
It's going to be one of those games where you might have somebody who doesn't play a lot of games or they have very little knowledge, and they'll come over to your house and they'll be like, do you own Wingspan?
And you're like, of course.
And you're like, yeah, of course. And then, you play it with them. Would my friends who typically I game with a lot want to play Wingspan? They would not. They would not. We've sort of, I feel like we've moved on. We like other games. But for those instances, I think it's worth keeping around.
I would just tell people, go to Walmart. They sell them there.
They are sold everywhere now.
Yeah, you can get them.
It's like Ticket to Ride. It's ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
Yeah, go buy your own copy. You come to our house where we have hundreds of games to choose from, and you want Wingspan.
It's a good game.
Like, come here and ask me to play poker or Monopoly.
No, it is better than that. Put that in the back of the box. Wingspan, better than Monopoly. All right. And next up is the game featured behind us, River of Gold. In River of Gold, players use their boat to travel down the river, performing various actions, such as developing new ports, markets, and various other buildings, as well as doing their best to grow their wealth and visit nobility, all in an effort to get as many points as possible. River of Gold is probably my favorite game amongst all of these games. I really enjoy it. It has this really unique feel where at the same time it feels almost laid back because you're kind of just, cruising down this lazy river, but at the same time a little cutthroat because there's some area majority action where you want to be further ahead in influence within certain factions, and you're sort of gunning for specific buildings before other people get it, and it has this like pseudo cooperation where you can land on other opponents' buildings and you provide them a benefit, but you also get a benefit. It's cool. It's just a cool game.
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I love this game. This is the only game out of all these games that I truly have craved to play. Which, I don't know what that says about me or it says about the game, but it's the kind of, to me that's a great sign of a game where you played it once and you're like, I'm still thinking about it. The next day, you're like, not necessarily that you wish it something different or you want to play it differently. And it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I really enjoy the choices, the options, mechanisms. It's a really well thought out game. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you feel this, but I don't feel there's a big difference between playing with 3 players or 4 players.
It played well at all players. We played at 2 players. I put this on the 2-player tier list, I believe. Yeah. Pretty high up too. It's
all player counts. And I don't think there's many adjustments for player count. There's shared objectives as well, but this has been the first games where I felt like the shared objectives for everybody, I never really tried to aim for it. Unlike in Skyrise, where the shared objectives and personal objectives of that whole game, this is just like one small component to the game and there's so many layers that adds on top of each other that makes the whole game very strategic, very smooth, and very satisfying to play.
Yeah, it is a really satisfying game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So 3, 2, 1, treasure.
Double thumbs up as well.
Yeah, it's a good game. I don't know if we're going to review it, but if I had to do like a mini review, I'd probably sit at like an 8, I think. I think it's a really good game. It's
between 8 and 9 for me. I think it's the kind of game where when we have friends come over, no matter what type of gamer they are, the type of games they prefer, it's a game I always happily recommend and play.
I do enjoy it, and I think it's really easy to teach to people. It's relatively simple, and yet has enough depth there that you're not going to be bored.
Yes.
And the turns are always really fast. I think it's really clever to force people to roll their dice at the end of their turn. It just allows you to sort of, gauge out what you're going to do for the next turn.
No, when everyone else going to take a turn, you can think about what you want to do next.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what makes the 2-player version of the game even better, is that like the board state doesn't change as much between when it's your turn and when it's not your turn. And that's cool too. So plays well at all player counts. Definitely a game worth checking out. And next up, I got it. And next up is Unconscious Mind.
Another holographic box.
Yeah, shine. Unconscious Mind is a worker placement game where players take on the role of psychologists in the late 19th century, helping patients through dream analysis while competing to build the most successful practice and advanced psychological theories. Unconscious Mind is a good game that we played at PAX for the first time, and we had somebody teaching it to us, and it was a nightmare. Having him teach that game, because I don't think he really understood the game very well. It was a personal hell. And I walked away thinking, like, I don't like this game. And then I was like, well, you know what? People seem to be praising it quite a bit. Let's give it another shot, because I think the problem was that one experience. And then we played it again, and I think it went over much better. Yeah, even having fully understood the game now, that is the major criticism I have, is that the game does feel disjointed at times. Like when you're playing and there's a map portion of it where you move your character around to collect resources and do stuff, it feels really disconnected from everything else that you're doing.
Yeah.
And even like, as much as I like it, I like the resource puzzle. I think that's much like Glass Road or Black Forest, that's sort of like one of the shining stars of Unconscious Mind. Even that feels disjointed. Even that feels disjointed, moving up these like little things to get resources and sort of mitigating that, while mechanically it's enjoyable. Thematically, I'm just like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, the little wheel of like the little round resource things you go up. I don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
And I also kind of don't care.
Yeah.
Like it was fun and interesting and good and needing the right combination of resources to heal, not cure, heal your patients. That again, very Freudian and like a little strange, but fun.
But treating the patients is fun. It's very clever how your patient reaches catharsis, and then you remove that sort of like transparent sheet, and you get the bonuses. And the game does what I like a lot of games to do, which is allow players to sort of differentiate themselves from other players at the table through unique bonuses that they gain, and powers that they gain throughout the game. So essentially, thematically, I don't know how this works. I guess like you cure a patient, and they just become one of your homies, and they just hang in your club, and they just give you.
Your patient was like a celebrity, and then they go on social media, be like this.
Yeah, I guess
this
so.
person.
You
Yeah,
just get that power forever. And that guy just like, I guess they hover. They all just hover. They create like a little circle around you. They become your gang.
Reputation. You get better at what you do. Yeah. But yeah, I did really enjoy the game. But yes, some parts just seem so not on brand with the theme and just a little abstract, a little fun.
Yeah, and I actually really like this at 2-player. So I put this in the 2-player tier list game, and I think I gave it a B because I think
I saw that video. I wasn't invited to that video. I saw it when it went live.
But yeah, it's good. It's good. And I think I liked it more at 2-player. So do we keep do we treasure or do we trash this? 3, 2, 1, treasure.
It's shiny.
It's shiny.
We cannot trash shiny.
I don't like how big it is. We have the deluxe version or something. I don't like how big it is. I don't like that boxes just keep getting bigger and bigger.
If you can't tell, I like shiny things.
But it is
big and shiny is perfectly good with me.
And speaking of big boxes, we have the last game of the video. Oh, more massive boxes. Galactic Cruise. Look at it. It's huge. Like those Eagle Griffin games from Lacerda, like the Galactic are on Mars. It's unnecessarily large.
Yeah,
but
the big criticism, not shiny.
It doesn't shine. It's matte. Which isn't science fiction-y enough. Galactic Cruise is a worker placement and engine building game where players compete to design the most luxurious spacefaring cruise line in history. By managing resources, upgrading ships, and attracting high-profile passengers, players navigate a dynamic economy to build the ultimate interstellar vacation experience. Galactic Cruise is a very good game. I really enjoyed it.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the comparisons to a lot of Lacerda's games, like the Galactic especially, are very apt. Just insofar as that it can feel very procedural, the way you perform your actions, where you go like, I'm step 1, step 2, step 3. But it all becomes very intuitive as the more you play. So it becomes easier to understand. And it has the bumping mechanic too that you'll see in the Gallerist, which is an interesting way to encourage interaction beyond the typical denial system, which you get in most games. Like, I'm taking this thing that you want, ha ha.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Conference play, a little confusing about building the ship. At first, I wasn't sure, like, is it better to build big ships, small ship? I don't really know what the strategy is.
Differ your strategies between plays.
And then as we got second play, especially, it's like, I get the point now is to build many ships, launch it as often as you can.
Well, it can depend, and that's one of the great things about the game is there is a ton of variability in this game. The board state itself, the action spaces all change, the goals all change,
Yes.
The individual player powers that you can achieve throughout the game, they can all change. Where you place your cogs, so the game employs these little cogs, which allow you're allowed to perform 2 actions on any given turn. And so you can perform them on the space that you currently occupy or adjacent spaces, provided you have built a cog that joins those 2 spaces. So even like how you perform your actions will be completely different between games. The ships that come out are all different. The people that you're taking to space can all be different. Yeah,
There's so much variability.
Tons of variability, and it's just a really well done game. It's very pretty, although, well,
Not shining.
maybe not pretty. It is one of those games that looked like it was like designed by
It looks
a
like
graphic
it's kind of
artist
like
and
from
not
the
an
80s
artist.
or 90s. Like, it looks a
Yeah.
little retro, but I love it.
I would like if the art was a little better. This does look very graphic design and not art. Do you know if that makes any sense?
I mean, to me, it plays into the retro look of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so I don't mind that at all. I'm not going to harp on the shiny thing, but anyways, I do think it's a really good game. And like what Mike said about the variability, I do still feel that the core of the game is build many ships, launch as often as you can. But the way you go about doing that, and then the different cards and different abilities you can pick up along the way to prioritize different things in the process, so fun. It's so worth it. Absolutely worth trying this game.
And the game does exactly what I want all worker placement games to do from now until the end of time, which is to employ a mechanism that still allows me to make a choice once I've chosen to regroup. Refresh, regroup, whatever it is the game asks you to do. Because oftentimes in those types of games, it just feels like you're skipping your turn. Whereas in this game, not only do you get to perform an action, provided your cog is adjacent to one of the actions that you want to perform, but you also get like various benefits like resource generating benefits. Yeah. So it's cool. The game just provides you a lot of choices. I really like it. 3, 2, 1, treasure. Yeah.
Double thumbs
I hate that the box is gigantic.
Why couldn't it have been the shape of a rocket? You know?
But it's full. The box is at least full. It's got a lot of cool inserts. I should add though that the copy that we have, the cardboard sheets, I guess, are dual-sided and they've been glued together. There's a couple of sheets that they just came apart. And I've emailed the company and I've gotten the quality control, whatever, their customer service, and it's been I think it's been 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and I've gotten no response. I will update this video, I guess, with like a comment once it gets updated, but I should let you know that I suppose it's possible that if you were to buy the copy of this game, maybe you would run into the same issue. So I figured, we almost never talk about components, but I figured I'd mention that.
Get better adhesives.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So that's everything. That's all the games. Yes. I think we made out pretty well. We thinned it. Oh, we did barely thin it. I don't think we thinned it at all.
No.
Did we get rid of
everything? Yeah.
No, I didn't. I thumbed down Wondrous Creatures. I said we should get rid of that. I thumbed down... Oh, shit. Oh, we're keeping everything.
No, we're getting rid of...
Oh, Nova Era.
Yeah.
Oh, this video was a failure. We're supposed to weed out our collection, and we ended up getting rid of 1 game out of 10. Okay, well, we'll get on with the next one.
It's not the... I mean, as you guys heard us talking about it, very often one of us will like the game.
Yeah, maybe we have to ditch the unanimous decision. No, because if one person really likes it.
It's not unanimous. It's my decision to keep it.
That's true.
I have no say.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, jinx.
You owe me a coffee. If you defer an opinion about any of these games, let us know. So I think it's really hard for us when one of us likes it, when the other like it.
And I'll let you know you're wrong.
Thank you again for watching and bearing with Mike. I don't know how I do it either, We'll see you in the next one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.